Hello and welcome to today's LinkedIn training. My name is Mary Teresa, MT, and I'm a Senior Employment Services Advisor at Upwardly Global. This training is specifically for participants of Upwardly Global. I'm really excited to share with you today some advice and tips for improving your LinkedIn, using it to be found by recruiters, and using it to build your professional network. So first of all, what is LinkedIn? Well, LinkedIn is an online social platform for professionals, as well as a job board. So it holds multiple functions, and it's incredibly well known and well used, both by recruiters and professionals alike. So I'd like to first start off with the key elements of building out your profile for success. So the first one is your photo. So a good photo has good lighting, simple background, zoomed in on your face, and has work attire. This is really important for your profile. And you can see here in mine, I meet most of those criteria with the exception of simple background. It would be better if my background was one color, maybe white or blue, for example. Up next is the headline. So your headline, which I'll show you here, this section, should be what you're studying or what your job title that you're seeking is, or your past job title, for example. So for example, if you are a software development student, you can put that as your headline, software development student, and you can add in some key words or skills that you use regularly, such as Java, PHP, C++. So for example, for me, maybe if I was looking for an outreach associate role, I could put outreach associate because that's my target goal and I'm targeting my job search around this position. That's where I'm setting myself up. And then maybe I will add in communications, social media. And if I have a certificate, maybe I can say certified in outreach, just for example. And see, I've separated it by a vertical dash. So this is what can make your headline stand out: the job title, the skills, and any certifications or education that you have as well. So the next section, very important, is the location. So always make sure your location is up to date. Recruiters do search by location regularly. Up next, a quick tip: avoid titles or headlines that say unemployed or open to opportunities. Focus on your target job here. So up next is the About Me section. So at this point, you should have already worked with your job coach on your foundation resume. And you can copy paste your professional summary from your foundation resume into your About section. You can also add more details though, because unlike your resume, LinkedIn does not have a word count. So you can add details about the path that you took. You can add in maybe some bullet points with your key skills and some of your top accomplishments as well. You can see mine is pretty short. It probably is something I should work on. I can expand it since I have the space in this case. Up next is your featured section. So in your featured section, you can add posts, articles, links, or media. So for example, you can add a portfolio. If you're a UX designer, you have a portfolio of design. If you're a web developer and you have a GitHub link, you can add that. Or for example, for me, I've written a blog post, so I added my blog post. Maybe you have a certificate you took, maybe from Coursera or Udemy. You can add that here too. You could add the link or the media to the certificate as well. So this is a helpful section. It can show proof of your work or an example. Up next is your experience. So your experience is really important in order to add details about what you've done. I suggest, like your resume, you have bullet points in order of importance with action words and results. So in fact, you can even copy and paste from your resume to add in the details here. And so you can tell, in my case, I really need to add in the descriptions because I haven't done that. You can also add any media that you've worked on. And again, unlike your resume, LinkedIn does not have a word limit. So you can add additional information. So feel free to make it a bit longer if you want to, and add in some links if you have those. Up next is education, very important section. For your education section, if you were in school recently, you should add in as much detail as possible, maybe your activities, maybe some of your coursework. If it's been a while, feel free to leave off some of the details. You don't have to add the dates if it's been a while and you don't want to share that information. That's all good. Then, very important section, any licenses and certifications that you have. You can see mine has expired, but I should probably take this down at this point. It's been a few years. Any volunteer experience. And then your skills and endorsements. So this section is very important in LinkedIn's algorithm for recruiters because recruiters often search using job titles, which you should have in your headline, and keywords or skills. Now, what are keywords? Keywords are words that are commonly used in your profession or industry now. They can be hard skills. They can be very precise and job specific. Maybe it's technical expertise or a name of a product, or maybe it's a certification. For example, if you're in tech support, maybe it's CompTIA A+. That might be a keyword. Or if you're in project management, maybe it's budgeting. So what I recommend that you do now is search for 2 job descriptions and read through both of them line by line and highlight any words that come up more than twice, any nouns that come up more than twice. You can take a pause on this video to do that and then come back. Okay, I hope that you're back now and you've gone through the job descriptions carefully. So you know what are some of the skills that are common and the keywords that come up. For example, often we see a cross-functional collaboration. That's a very common one in the tech sector. So what's important here is to choose the top 3 skills. These are really important in the algorithm. So now choose these 3 skills based again on what you've seen in the job descriptions and what you know about your industry. Finally, you can give and receive recommendations on LinkedIn. This can help to build your credibility. And it's a helpful, it can give someone an extra, personal information about yourself, who you are, and more about you. So now I'd like to turn a little bit more to the recruiter side of LinkedIn and how do recruiters use LinkedIn? How can you stand out to recruiters? So as I mentioned, recruiters use various filters to search through candidates. This might be location, job title, keywords, industry. So they can spotlight specific candidates based on a couple of factors as well. So LinkedIn will spotlight candidates in a recruiter search that are considered more likely to respond. So LinkedIn looks at your messaging history and your platform engagement, and they will tell the recruiter, yes, this candidate is likely to respond, or no, this candidate is not likely to respond. That is, of course, recruiters only want to reach out to candidates who will respond to them. So for this, I advise that you spend 5 minutes a day on LinkedIn. You can send someone in your network a message, ask how they're doing, ask how their job is going, any new projects they're working, or reach out to someone new. Find someone new that you can connect with and speak to. The next thing that recruiters can see is that if you're open to opportunities. So you should make sure that on LinkedIn, you show you're open to opportunities. Recruiters can also see if you've engaged with the company. So let me show you how that looks. So Autodesk is an employer partner with Upwardly Global. So a recruiter can see if you follow them, the company, or if you've created a job alert. Now, I encourage you to take a quick pause in this video again and go and create job alerts for companies that are your target companies that you would like to work for. Great. I hope you've created a few job alerts now. Now, the last thing that I want to show you and explain to you is about building your network. So the key to building your network is finding commonalities. So first of all, you're with Upwardly Global. So that's one commonality, one group you have already who you can reach out to. So for Upwardly Global, you can add us to your LinkedIn page in your education section. That's where we go. And you can also feel free to add any employees or alumni of the program. But you should always include a message to explain why you are adding someone. You can say, "Hi, my name is MT. I'm an Upwardly Global job seeker. I'd like to connect with you." So I often receive messages from people who I don't know. Connections from people who I don't know. And unless there's a message explaining the connection, I don't accept. So it's always best to have a message when you send someone a connection. Now, let's say you're looking at our alumni and you're a software developer. So you can see, wow, there's 67 alumni who are software developers. Maybe you want to reach out to someone and you can connect with them and say, "Hi, I'm an Upwardly Global job seeker. I'm also a software developer. I see you have experience with C++. I would love to speak to you about your experience with this coding language." That's a very specific message. They understand. So in this, maybe I'm speaking to Anwar. Anwar will understand why I said this, why I want to speak with him, because I'm so specific. So that's a really strong way to build up your network. And you can do this in many ways. So maybe it's if you have children who go to school, it can be their parents. Maybe it's someone who you meet at your survival job. Maybe it's someone in a group online, or maybe at an Upwardly Global event. If you have any questions about reaching out to people for informational interviews, please ask your job advisor. Similarly, you can also reach out to recruiters, and that's a really good idea. So maybe if you have, again, let's use Autodesk. Let's say you're really interested in Autodesk. You can look at their people and search for a recruiter. And maybe you can send them a message and tell them which job you're interested in. So again, the key is always to send them a message so that they understand why you're reaching out. Now, just to wrap up, the top tips for LinkedIn and the ways to become spotlighted for recruiters are: 1, you should use keywords, update your location, job title, and one other thing, join professional groups on LinkedIn. 2, make sure you're open to new opportunities. 3, send connection requests to recruiters you're interested in speaking with. And 4, add rich media. So that's links, Word documents, other relevant files, and recommendations to your profile. Now, one last tip that I want to share with you. If we go to the settings, this is a great setting, but I think a lot of folks don't realize it. Under job seeking preferences, signal your interest to recruiters at companies you've created job alerts for. Change this to yes. Again, if you create a job alert, a recruiter will know that you've done this and will be more likely to reach out to you or to know that you're interested in working for them. So those are my top tips for LinkedIn for standing out to recruiters and understanding more about the platform. As always, if you have a question, please reach out to your job advisor.